Right now on Up with KREM, there's a big vacancy on the Spokane City Council. This morning, we take a closer look at who's in the running for the job.
Plus, we are coming off of some long days filled with cold weather that's causing some winter blues. This morning, we learned from a local expert about the signs of seasonal depression and how you can move forward.
Rain and even some freezing rain is moving through the inland northwest right now. How long these rain chances stick around.
Up with KREM begins now.
Good morning, everyone. 6 a.m. on this Monday. Thanks so much for joining us here on Up with KREM. I'm Channing Curtis.
And I'm Tim Pham. It's good to see you. Hope you had a good weekend. We're starting things off with a look at our weather forecast because this week is so different than one week ago. Nicole, Thomas put you to work on the hardest weather week of the year so far.
Seriously, no, he's back tomorrow, so I'm gonna get to go back to doing my normal thing. But for now, I get to talk about rain instead of snow because, like you mentioned, things totally different this week than last week, and the biggest change is our temperature. So we still have moisture moving its way through our region, but instead, it's falling as rain instead of snow. We do have wintry mix as well moving its way through along with the rain. The rain kind of dissipating this morning as we kind of move through the morning. It's much less intense now than it had been just about an hour ago. I want to zoom in though here to the Spokane Coeur d'Alene area because you can see that pink there, that wintry mix, that potential freezing rain moving its way through Coeur d'Alene there, but it started to calm down a little bit. So a lot of that pink that we're seeing is kind of moving its way either out or into the Montana area at the moment. We're stuck with mostly just rain at this point. Still though, potential slick, even slushy conditions on the road.
Now, despite some better weather this week, we do still have some school closings and delays to report this morning. Closed this morning are the Cusick School District and the Boundary County School Districts. Operating on a 2-hour delay this morning, well, that's the Wellpinit School District, Riverside School District, and Kettle Falls School Districts. Now, we'll continue to update you all morning long on any school delays and closings here on Up with KREM and on KREM.com.
And the city of Spokane says they finished their full city plow yesterday. They began working last week on Wednesday after we saw that first batch of snow. The city says crews will remain in winter operation and continue to keep an eye on conditions. Meanwhile, warmer temperatures may sound like good news, but it also means all of that snow that just fell days ago now has the potential to flood streets. So take a look at this video taken up on Regal on the South Hill. A pretty large puddle formed on the roads, forcing drivers to slow down. Now to our big story of the morning. The University of Idaho reached out to staff and students about abuse allegations against the university's volleyball coach.
In the letter, President Scott Green addressed claims about a lack of action by the university. Now, earlier this month, several players filed an official complaint claiming head coach Chris Gonzalez physically and emotionally abused players over the last 2 seasons. Green said that they did receive complaints from the student athletes last November and then began an investigation. He says a case manager was appointed to support the team, and that person will attend and monitor all team practices. They also assigned a psychologist for mental health support. Off-season practice started just last week, but the university says that the student athletes can opt out. And so far, 3 players have done so. We do have the full letter available on our website right now. You can just head over to KREM.com or the KREM 2 app.
The man accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students will be back in court this week. Court filings KREM 2 uncovered shows Friday's hearing will discuss Brian Kohberger's motion to reconsider the denial of his request to have the grand jury indictment dismissed. Kohberger's defense team says there was misconduct by the prosecution, a lack of evidence, and a biased grand jury. The hearing starts at noon, and a scheduling conference will happen immediately after.
The Spokane City Council is expected to appoint their newest council member at tonight's meeting. This morning, our Brandon T. Jones is joining us live in the newsroom with the latest. So, Brandon, can you tell us how long has this seat been vacant?
Well, yeah, Channing, the seat opened up after City Council President Betsy Wilkerson was elected to her position late last year. This role represents District 2, Position 2, and 17 people applied for the position. Out of those applicants, 5 candidates received an interview for the position by the entire City Council. Here's who they are. We'll start with Katie Sheehan. Sheehan has spent the past decade with the Community Building Foundation as its executive director. Next up is Alex Gibilisco. Gibilisco has served as the city equity director since 2020. Lily Navarrete is the community development officer for Washington State Commission on Hispanic Affairs. Shane Gronholz is a current affairs specialist for Spokane Public Library, and Jamie Bartlett is the director of LGBTQ+ Resource Center at Gonzaga. So those are the candidates for the open council seat. A vote is expected tonight and session begins at 6 p.m. Whoever is appointed will serve until the 2025 general election. In the newsroom, I'm Brandon T. Jones.
The time now is 6:05. Let's take a look at your morning rush. More news in less time. Spokane police arrested a man for a string of assaults in downtown Spokane. Police say 44-year-old Sean Webb assaulted 3 people in 3 separate incidents last week. Police arrested Webb shortly after. He was booked into the Spokane County Jail on charges of burglary and assault. Happening today, the countywide point-in-time count kicks off. More than 200 volunteers signed up this year to help count both the sheltered and unsheltered homeless population across Spokane County. This includes those in Cheney, Liberty Lake, and within Spokane city limits. City officials say it helps keep a pulse on what's happening in the community and informs providers on how to best serve that population. Well, icy roads caused a car to lose control and crash into a Spokane Valley fire truck. Take a look. The crash happened near I-90 and Sullivan Road in Spokane Valley on Saturday afternoon. The driver of the car was hurt in the crash and had to be taken to a hospital, but they are expected to be okay. That is a look at your morning rush.
I am today suspending my campaign.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis dropped out of the GOP primary. In a video posted to social media, DeSantis said he did not have a clear path to victory. It is now officially a 2-person race for the GOP presidential nomination, with just a day before voters head to the polls there. Donald Trump and Nikki Haley crisscrossed the state while stepping up attacks on one another. CBS News correspondent Penny Comet has more from New Hampshire.
It's clear to me that a majority of Republican primary voters want to give Donald Trump another chance.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis suspending his campaign yesterday, throwing his support behind former President Trump and taking a parting shot at former GOP rival Nikki Haley.
We can't go back to the old Republican guard of yesteryear, a repackaged form of warmed-over corporatism that Nikki Haley represents.
That's the sound of a 2-person race.
Yet on the campaign trail, both Haley and Trump wish DeSantis well.
I'd like to take time to congratulate Ron DeSantis.
And they continue to trade barbs.
The majority of Americans disapprove of Trump and Biden.
She's unelectable.
Haley even questioned Trump's mental fitness after he appeared to confuse her with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi while discussing January 6th.
Nikki Haley is in charge of security. We offered her 10,000 people.
I wasn't even anywhere near the Capitol. The reality is he was confused.
With just one day until the nation's first primary election, multiple polls are still showing Donald Trump with a double-digit lead.
I hope that Trump wins. I believe he will.
More or less rooting for Nikki Haley at the moment, just because I want Trump to lose.
Meanwhile, Democrats are organizing a write-in campaign for President Biden, since his name will not appear on the ballot. Penny Commit, CBS News, Manchester, New Hampshire.
Cool look over Lake Coeur d'Alene right now. You can see some of that snow. What footprints, maybe goose prints all over the place. Probably footprints. Those are too big for the geese. But cool that we've still got snow there, but that snow probably going to be melting over the course of the week because our temperatures are nice and warm. We're at 35 degrees here in Spokane. Across the region, everyone either at or above freezing this morning, at least here on, this temperature map that we're looking at. One thing we are dealing with, though, is some fog. Lewiston has been decreasing visibility, now down to just quarter-mile visibility down in Lewiston. 3-mile visibility just west of Spokane. That's a pretty normal spot to see fog. And then Sandpoint now seeing some fog as well with 4 miles of visibility.
With cold weather and short days, the winter blues can take a toll on so many people. So coming up in the next 8 minutes, we get tips from a therapist on how to tackle seasonal depression.